Let's go. Let's go. Higher and higher. You then feel me with holy fire. Everybody sing along. Higher.
Hello and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. How are you doing? My name is Batures and I am your host on the show. I would like to welcome you from wherever you're joining us from, and I would like to know where you're joining us from. So please go ahead and put it in the comments. Just let us know where you're joining from. Thank you for letting us be part of your day today. We're really excited about that. And with me on the show is my husband and co-host, Kingsley Bature.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here as usual. So how has your week been? Wetin you don't do, wetin you don't arrange, wetin you don't scatter. Because on these matters that we are touching, there has to be some arrangement and some scattering. So if the thing is not working, you scatter it. If the thing is arranged or is arranging, you leave it as it is. But bottom line, it's good to be here, and I hope you can hear us, and I hope you wherever you are settled and well. So please take a moment to also share, like, subscribe, and send it, like I usually say, to your friends, send it to your family, and send it to your foes, your enemies. Send to them, all of them. You never can tell. One video that they watch from us can convert them from foe to friends. So you are welcome on the show again.
Welcome, and do not go anywhere. You know that on this show we bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your lives and in your relationships. And today we are going to be unleashing yet another dose of value to you. So, drum roll for the topic of the day. Relationship dashboards.
And dashboard, and you see people that don't have car may not understand that dashboard. But if you have entered car, you have entered bus before. Dashboard, now that place where they show speedometer. How is the that's the place that they call dashboard. So what is showing on the speedometer of your relationship?
Yes. And for people who are into data analytics, you know that dashboards help you see a lot on one page. So yes, so it's not just like, oh, I'm listening to only what he says, or I'm judging by what his friends said. It's that you're pulling all the information together, you're putting everything on one page, and you can tell, you can start to see the trends. It's very easy to spot. Yes, so today we're talking about relationship dashboards, and we are going to be looking at red flags and
idiot lights.
Yes. I'm sure some people are wondering what's idiot lights.
They will find out.
You don't want to tell them yet?
Okay. If you want me to tell them, I can tell them what idiot lights are.
Yeah.
Idiot lights are, when you're on dashboard, you see all those things that usually show red light or something, one icon comes up. Back in the days, it wasn't icons that were coming up, like maybe battery or anything. What used to happen back in the days were lights that were attached to the dashboard, that anytime something is happening with the car, they will flicker. And so, because they were somewhat of a nuisance to drivers back then, that's why they call them idiot lights.
I see.
Do you understand? And the problem is, because they flicker, some drivers don't even pay attention to them. They don't know whether it's just wire that is touching. Last, they ignore the idiot lights, and the car gets into a very stupid problem. That's the same thing that can happen to your relationship.
Exactly.
When you ignore the beeping lights, and you call them, they are just idiot lights. When you ignore them, you get into stupid problems in your relationship.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think another problem is that sometimes people see the lights, they know, yeah, there's a light there, but they don't know what it means. There's the funny, I'm sure you probably have seen this on social media, of the lady who called her husband and was like, honey, I really need help. And he's like, what's the problem? He said, there are just these lights coming on the dashboard, and there's actually a picture of a man taking a, in quote, shit.
Taking a dump
I mean, where?
on her dashboard.
Then
So the car will
husband,
start.
so yeah, so the husband said, "Send me a picture," and she snapped the picture and sent it to him. And behold, it was -4 degrees. But because of the way the minus, the 4, and then the
C?
degrees, it just looked like a guy that was just on.
So the reason the car will not start is because
It was
it's too cold.
Yeah, yeah. So she didn't understand it.
So she saw the sign,
Yeah.
but she didn't. And that's the way some people in their relationship too. They see the sign,
Mhm.
but they don't understand what it means.
Yeah.
And then they don't take the right actions.
Yes. So you should look out for when it comes to red flags. And we're going to talk about some things that you should be able to deduce. You know, so you have to develop some, what should I call it? Spidey sense.
Spidey sense.
Sherlock Holmes, like some gadget, something. You know how you follow the cues, right? And then, or is it cues or clues? The clues. And then eventually you're able to tell this is what the issue is, you know? Yeah. So, you ready?
Let's dive in.
So if you're excited about being part of this, please let us know. I want to see those fire emojis, the thumbs up, the everything. Yes. And if you want to just start telling us the red flags you are very, very aware of, maybe some that you saw in a past relationship that made you run away, please go ahead and type it in the comments. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Starting with the very first red flag. And this one, it will be a red flag as in anytime, any day. So this one is not about, oh, it depends on preference. This is a red flag. Physical, emotional, or verbal abuse. So this is any form of violence, any form of threat or intimidation, you know, anything that can actually bring about harm to a person's well-being, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, and so on. Yeah. So
is it possible for someone to be emotionally abused and they don't know? Do you understand?
If they don't know what emotional abuse is, they might not know. Yes.
So it's possible for someone to be in a relationship, they are going through abuse, and they don't know that they're going through abuse.
Yeah.
So what are the signs to help us tell people, auntie, uncle, you are being abused either emotionally, verbally? The one that we know is the physical abuse. If somebody give you backhand, that one you are very clear.
Yeah.
It shows, it's very clear, right? So what are the signs
of emotional abuse?
How can you know you are being abused emotionally?
Well, I think some easy ones would just be when somebody is trading. It's more like you have to give something before you get their attention. That's just because, I mean, emotions are about that connection you're trying to build with someone. It's about how you feel and all of that. And you're in a relationship with someone and you want to feel a sense of connection, and the person makes you feel like you have to work to get it. So if you don't do this, then you don't get my attention. But if you do this, you get my attention. And sometimes those things may be things you don't feel like doing, or things you don't want to do, or things you can't do.
That's almost transactional
at that time. But then, yeah, you can call it transactional. But then the person puts pressure. That's one example. You know,
and if I would add another one, if I would, I think emotional abuse can also show up when someone is always putting you down. You always feel like you are being put down in the relationship. They talk you down. They make you feel less of yourself. Your ideas or your opinions are never good enough. In fact, sometimes they go as much as discrediting you in order to have their way. You know? So
I know another common one is gaslighting. In fact, someone was saying that Nigerians are very good at gaslighting God. but then there's the gaslighting part in relationship.
But this gaslighting thing, give me an example of how this thing really works, so that let's see how, because some people may not know how gaslighting works.
Gaslighting, you said one thing today, And then by the time the person brings it up again tomorrow, you say, no, that's not what you said. And no, that's not what you said at all. The person misunderstood. No, the person is probably forgetting. No, I don't like this thing you're doing. Well, I keep saying that means you weren't paying attention to what I was saying. I've just turned the tables. Now you're the problem, So that kind of stuff.
What about do you have any example of the way that Nigerians gaslight God?
No, that's when Nigerians try to drag God into the problem. Like, God, if you know that I've told everybody that you are my God and that you are very powerful and that there's nothing you cannot do. If you don't solve this problem now, it will bring shame to me. But if you bring shame to me, it will also bring shame to you, my God. That's an example. I mean, it's just funny. Yeah, but there are so many others.
So we've talked about 3 now,
including one that said, God, I was just sitting on my own, minding my business, and you decided to create me. So you have to solve this problem.
So it's his fault that he created me for me to now come into the problem. So he needs to solve it.
Yeah, but so gaslighting, they make you doubt your memory, doubt your feelings, doubt your perceptions. They acted a certain way. You deduced something from the way they acted, but they just try to flip it immediately. They just keep adjusting the story, making it look like I did not get it. Am I the one that is
not thinking well?
Yeah, so that's part of emotional abuse. But our topic for today is not emotional abuse, so we'll move on.
No,
it's just part of it. That's why we won't dwell so much on it. But really, sometimes you need to go and check for signs. Just do it as part of a health check for a relationship. Signs of emotional abuse, signs of physical abuse, signs of verbal abuse, signs of just check. And then you'll be able to deduce, okay, is this happening in my relationship or not? Because sometimes when someone else tells you, you may say, oh, the person is just beefing you because they are not in a relationship like you are and stuff like that. But when you go and objectively, you go and look by yourself, you realize that, okay, it may be that you are in one, or you have the all clear and you're like, yay, my relationship is good. So,
next item.
Okay, so next red flag. When the person has a history of past many toxic relationships, or it might even be one, but then the blame is always put on the other person. The ex was the one that was the problem. And this person was never the problem. The problem was the ex on every occasion. You have to realize that it cannot be that one person is perfect and the other person is the problem, right? Even if the bulk of the problem may have been from somebody else, but you were not perfect. So you should also be able to talk about what you didn't do right in that past relationship. But then when you see that relationship was really toxic and this person is putting every single bit of the blame on their ex, you actually need to check. It's even worse, or should I say more obvious, when there were several exes and all the exes were the problem. It's just like somebody going to, exactly. I'm sure you get that, right? You go to the market and everybody says that, and you say that everybody's the problem. Everybody in the market, random people, everybody's the problem. There's no problem with you. Yeah, that's an example. Yeah, so watch out for those, okay? So, and this is a good place for you to note that you need to pay attention to past relationships that people had. Don't just come in and say,
my past is past.
And say, your past is your past, I don't care.
My past is past, yes.
Because when that past comes knocking on your door.
And it will.
Then you realize that I should have paid attention to this earlier. Because you really don't. Some people say, I love you the way you are, you're beautiful, you're perfect. Whatever it was, I've forgiven you. I'm not going to hold it against you, so I don't even need to know about it.
I don't need to know.
So really interesting that some people say that when you want to go into a lifetime commitment, be careful.
And there's precedence for this, right? Because there's that concept that we are all programmings of our experiences. So there are 3 things, in family system engineering, where we talk about it. There are 3 things that condition a person. There is your environment, there is your experience, and then there is your upbringing. right? Or which you can call your education. So if I were to give you 3 E's, I would say environment, experience, and education. Those are the things that condition a person, right? So your experiences are part of your conditioning. So the person that we see today, this you that we're looking at, you are a product of experiences that you've had. And if you don't deal with those experiences properly, they are going to come and influence the new relationship that you are getting into. And that relationship may not have a problem, but it may just be corrupted by the virus that you did not sanitize from the past that is finding its way into the present. Do you understand?
That's why you always say before you open
before you open a new door, make sure you close the last one properly. You know, so those are obvious red flags, past experiences.
Yeah.
So that all the whole concept of your past is rubbish. It's not true. It's not
All
true.
right, now we'll go to the next one. And the next one is addiction. So whether it is to grass or to
To what?
grass. Whether you're addicted to plants that you wrap and light one end, you know, or to some chemical somewhere, or to alcohol, or to
pornography,
whatever it
and
is.
all of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people are addicted to gambling.
Yes.
You know, so whatever it is that makes someone not able to judge rightly, where they can actually act a certain way and say it was because I was under the influence, or my addiction drove me to do something, or I can't even remember because I was drunk. Do you understand? And then they do certain things, or someone is so high on, or so desperate for the next high that they go and carry the money that you were supposed to use to pay buy drugs. And
so,
then
so
next
those are obvious
next thing,
red
you and your
flags.
children are standing by the road.
Those are obvious red
Homeless,
flags.
yes.
There can even be addiction to games, to gaming. Those are obvious red flags for guys. There are guys that just play game and they are so into it. Most guys play games, right? That's part of our stuff. But when there's an addiction attached, it's a red flag.
Yeah, so because there's the issue of how much time they spend on it, how much resources go into getting the different gears, and then it might get to the point where they want to set up an entire space just for the game, and then the wife starts complaining, "You're not paying enough attention to me. You're always in this space."
So before you
on and so
enter,
forth.
check for addictions.
So just check. Unless you two are a gamer girl, as my daughter will say, then you guys will now do it together and say, "Oh yeah, build the space, spend the money. We're here together. You have your chair, I have my chair. Where's your pad? Where's my pad? Let's do this." Or whatever it is. You know? Yeah. So really, check for
Check
addictions.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready for the next one?
Okay.
And the next one is disregard of boundaries.
I don't get it.
You have boundaries. You know, somebody said that it's amazing how in this day and age, people easily give other people access to their, in quotes, private parts. But they will not give those people access to their phones because they say their phone is private. So the question was, what
which one is private and which one is public?
Yeah, exactly.
So
you know,
so the private parts have now become public parts. Then the public phones are now private phones.
So
People, something is not there's some misalignment.
Yeah. So what really, when it comes to phones, if you are going to be married to somebody and you claim that you guys have trust in that relationship, then you should be able to view each other's phones.
And so let's go back to boundaries, because you see this phone matter. It's a different
I
kettle
know
of
some
fish.
people say no.
This phone matter. Some people
Impossible.
they can let you see the phone,
You know,
but then they have backup phone.
Yeah, I know. But did you see there was a time this was trending on social media where, and it started with one guy who went on a date with his girlfriend, and he wanted to pick, I think, a food item on her plate, but the food what he wanted to pick was near her phone. Immediately he extended his hand. She quickly grabbed her phone, like the guy just knew
Red flag.
something was wrong. And he did not sit for even 1 second longer. He packed his things and left. So people now started doing it all over and videoing or recording the response of their partners in quotes, and a lot of people were really disappointed to find that that person you thought you were in a deep relationship with had something to hide, such that immediately you were just heading towards their phone.
Mm.
In fact, one woman did it to her husband. She waited for him to enter the bathroom to take a
Oh, I
shower.
seen that one. That,
And
by
then
time
the
she
guy
carried
came
the
out with
phone,
soap and
the guy with
towel
soap and towel
and was chasing
was
her. I
pursuing
mean,
her.
are you serious? Ha.
He said, if you open that phone today, this marriage has ended.
While the woman say, I will open this phone today. If he wants to end, let it end. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, but boundaries. Boundaries could be anything from the right time to do certain things, to please behave like this around my family, to please, this is a work tool or something. It's very delicate. If it gets damaged or if it gets lost, or if it is seen that someone else other than me used it, I might be in trouble. I could lose my job. So just stay clear. So
boundaries.
those are just. But then, if the person sees and hears all these boundaries you've communicated, and they completely disregard it time and time again, then you know
It's a flag.
yeah,
It's an idiot light.
yeah.
It's a light going.
So you
up
need
there.
to pay attention to those things. If not, you just find yourself saying so many times, how could you? But you knew that. How could you? But you know. So you can just imagine you're in a very serious, important meeting, career altering type meeting, and then this person knows, and then just comes and does something to disrupt it, or just shows up and no. So yes, boundaries are important. Anybody that continuously disregards those boundaries, red flag.
I think it's a good place to ask what are the boundaries that you have set in your relationship, and you have found that people, your partners, whether you're married, whether you're single,
yeah. In fact, there's one boundary that's coming to my head right now. Yeah.
Continuously
Example: we are in a relationship. We are going to get married. Two of us were committed, and we say, okay, so no, we're not dating anybody else. We are committed to each other, right?
Yes, exclusive.
Yeah, and then we say to each other that the boundary is, you can't go and be flirting with other girls. I can't find you toasting some girl somewhere when you have asked me for my hand in marriage and I have said yes. So what are you toasting them for?
Just checking.
Why are you flirting? Do you understand? So that's an example of a boundary. But then you go for a wedding and you see him moving from one fine girl to the other, following all the boobs that ladies display these days.
There are
for weddings.
A lot of V-cuts. A lot of V-cuts. Yeah, yes.
You know? So I mean, so imagine something like that outrightly. That's a boundary that the person has disregarded.
Yeah, and you need to call. We need to call.
Yeah.
We need to call an audible. You need to call. An audible is a football term, but you need to call back and say, hey, that red flag is not sitting down well with me. We need to have a conversation.
Yeah. And sometimes the conversation is goodbye.
It's goodbye. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think it's a good time to take a break. We will be right back after this. Don't go away. And we're back. Okay, so now this next one I'm really excited about. If you're just joining us, we are talking about relationship dashboards, and we're looking into red flags and idiot lights. Yes. So we've gone through a few of those red flags, and we'll go through a few more before we move to the next segment. Okay. So this next one I'm quite excited about, and I just call it inconsistencies.
I don't understand.
This is where this person's words, what they say, does not align.
Their words do not align with their
Yes,
deeds.
their words do not align with their actions,
With
with
their
their
actions,
deeds, just
yeah.
like you said. So they say one thing, but they do another thing.
Does it also fall in line with the person always changing what they said that they said?
Exactly. That's also inconsistency. So you say one thing today, another thing tomorrow, or you say one thing today, but you act completely different.
tomorrow.
So we can't really say who you are. And the fact is, you want to know somebody well enough to decide, can I do life with this person? And for that to happen, you want to observe patterns, not just on the spot actions. You want to see that this is how this person is. He said this the other time, he said this the other time. That probably means this kind of person he is. And then he does this. Oh, and that confirms these other things he said. Do you understand? You want to see trends. You want to see consistency. So if today you show up before the start of work, let's say work starts at 8, I'll say, oh, this person is always so early. And then the next 2 days, you show up 8:30, 8:15. I'm like, maybe that first day was an exception. Then on Thursday, you show up at 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, what exactly is it about? Are you an on-time person, or are you, right now you're inconsistent? I can't place you.
But Bobby, isn't work? Let's use relationship example.
Okay.
Like, how does
relationship example? One day, you are nice and friendly and cheerful. I feel like you're easy to talk to. I feel like, oh yes, I'm so comfortable when I'm around you. The next day, I'm begging you to talk. What is wrong now? What is wrong now? Don't worry, I've got this. Do you understand? Or the next day, I say, I'm trying to share how my day was. The day before, you sounded so interested and you were listening. The next day, it's like, please, I'm not really in the mood to talk right now. You're acting like I'm bothering you with my conversation. Which one is it? Are you caring? And do you give a listening ear? Are you a safe space? Or are you judgmental, disconnected, couldn't care less? Which one are you? So when you're showing all these different things and it's just all over, I can't quite say who you are. So I can't go for it. I can't categorically say, I trust that I will be happy with this guy because he listens to me, he pays attention to my feelings and my needs. I feel really safe around him and stuff like that. I can't because you're not consistent.
I think one of the things that people need to do, guys and ladies, right? You have to pay attention to what are the customs that a person has. You need to be able to observe the person and say, what are the things that this person will most likely always do? And that's part of your checking.
Yeah.
When you're in a relationship, you
can start to predict the person, right?
You can start to predict the person. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You know that, for example, if you come and you tell me something, I will almost always ask you why. That's me. You come and tell me a cock and bull story, or you come and tell me something happened, I will almost always ask you why. And then when you tell me something, I may take it, I will come back with another question, because I always like to get to the meat of the matter. So that's me. And you know that if you are dealing with me like that, you are going to see that pattern happen over and over again. So when you are conversing with someone, when you are relating with someone, you have to check, what are the customs? What are the patterns? What are the things that this person will always do? If you now realize that the person will do like this today, do like this tomorrow, it means that there are inconsistencies. Excuse me. And if those inconsistencies come to you as something that you cannot deal with, it's a flag that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So that all these flags we are raising, you have to also come to the place where you can now put them into, can I live with it? Or can't I live, or can I live without it?
Yeah.
So do they fall into non-negotiables, or do they fall into acceptables?
Yeah. Yeah, really important. Okay, so I'll go to the next one, and this one is isolation. I'm just going straight to the point. Isolation. The person is trying to isolate you. if somebody is constantly trying to cut you off from all the support
okay.
systems you have, all the people who are currently part of your life, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, you know, your network, they're trying to just do something to cut all those bonds that you have with other people, so that you're completely dependent on them. Yeah, everybody starts beefing you, and you start thinking that everybody else doesn't wish you well. So yeah, they are now your enemies, and he's your only, or she's your only true friend, you know, and confidant.
That's a red flag.
And stuff like big one, because it means if that guy does anything to you, or she does anything to you, you will not even have anybody to turn to. And another thing is, because you have lost those other connections, you're now completely dependent on this relationship, on this person, and you don't want to lose that relationship. So you now tend to keep doing more to keep it alive, because it feels like, if I lose this one, I'll be all alone, I'll be done for, and all of that.
If somebody wants you, if somebody wants to be your whole world, those are narcissistic tendencies now. It's true. And we have to look at it. You have to check it. It's a red flag. You don't want to meet my people. You don't want me to meet my people. And you are coming to my life, and then you are cutting everyone out.
You don't want my siblings to come to the house. Parents want to come, they can only stay for a few hours. They can't even spend the night. You know, as in that's how bad it can get by the time you end up marrying that kind of person, right? Because they just cut. Your parents have to write application letter before they come and visit you in your house.
We will need to look at some of these things. Somebody will come and find you among a community, and all of a sudden, because you are in a relationship, will now decide that that community that has raised you, has made you who you are, is really not good enough for you, and wants to bring you out of there and bring you into his own community of one. That's an obvious red flag.
It would even be better if he was bringing you into another healthy community of many people.
But community of one.
And then maybe you can say, but then even that one, the risk is that you're not sure whether they're all on his side, whether you have your own people. Come on, you need to feel like you have your own people.
Everybody needs a community.
When you get married, you say, my people are your people are my people. It's now our people. Yeah, but you need to know. You need to have people that are your people.
People that have your back.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the next one I'll talk about is disrespect. So this is a case where somebody just talks to you anyhow, maybe even doesn't value your opinions, belittles you, talks down on you, you know, and sometimes does it in the presence of other people, so that it really... Why are you laughing?
because this disrespect that you talk about now brings that particular notion that men like respect, while women like to be loved.
And then some women now went on social media to say, when they ask them, what do you want from a man? They say it's respect.
No, you know, so the truth is, I don't think that thing is true.
The fact is, everybody should be respected.
Yes, everybody should be respected. And of course, men need to be loved. It's just that men need to be loved, and they are, and that's where we talk about love languages, right? You need to know what makes me feel loved as a man is different from what makes you feel loved as a woman. But it doesn't mean I don't want to be loved. I just want to be respected. Hey, I want to be respected and loved. So there's no law that says, oh, men like to be respected, women like to be. That thing is pure rubbish. If you disagree, we can debate it too. You can bring your comments. I will bring my facts. Yeah. All of us like to be. I'll give you an example. God, make somebody know this. Excuse me. Your boss in the office. If your boss is a woman and you are a man, if your boss is a woman and you are a man in the office, does your boss need love in the office? So what your duty to her is when you go to office, you are loving her.
No.
No. What she needs?
Respect.
You don't respect her. You get your boss kicked out. You get kicked out of the office. So she needs respect, but she's a woman. So you cannot say, oh, because I have a wife, I have your type at home. Try telling it to your boss that is a woman. Do you understand? That's the day your job ends. So she needs respect. So everybody needs respect. and everybody wants to be loved.
Mm.
It's just that the way a man wants to be loved may be different from the way a woman wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And that depends on their love languages. And this is something we always say in relationship. Before you get married to anyone, you need to know your love languages.
Yeah.
Because your love language is populated. Your love language is dispensed by what you populate your emotional bank account with. There's something we call in family system in we call it EBA, emotional bank account. That's how you like to be loved. And the way you like to be loved is what fills up that account. Now, if the person that you're in a relationship
Your
with,
love tank.
yes, fills up your love tank. The person you're in a relationship understands how you like to be loved, they will fill that love tank and you will feel loved. But if what they are depositing into the love tank is not the way you like to be loved, then they'll be doing so much, but you are not getting that expression.
Yeah.
So that's why we say gift of service, quality time, all of those things. Those are things that people need to learn. People should go and read husband material. Though. The link is in the description.
All right,
below.
I have two more before we go to the next segment. The first of those two is when people are in a rush to get to the stage of commitment. Like you just met somebody yesterday. Today, they're telling you, I love you, you're the best thing that has happened in my entire life. Tomorrow, they propose. Big proposal in front of many people. They want you to commit that you're going to marry them. And then they're planning, then they're planning that this wedding must happen immediately. Now, wait. I'm not against sharp marriage.
Somebody will tell you that God has done it and you are saying
I'm not against sharp marriage. My problem
Uh,
is when you don't know anything about the person. You don't know
what work he does.
Sometimes you find out that it's only the first name I even know. Let me go and find out what my surname is going to be if I marry this person.
And you don't
know
what
where
job.
they are from. You don't know their family. You don't know what he does for a living or what she does for a living. You don't even know what kind of person this person is, but it's just that the packaging seems right, the person sounds right, they're asking, and then they seem to be rushing you. When that happens, sometimes just say, stop. Just calm down. Why the rush? Let's find out. Let's take time to know the important things that we need to know before we say I do.
Important things.
Yes, now, because even for people who are like mature singles and you know that you don't have time to be doing less for 6 months and 8 months before. No, you just want to get straight to the point. Sometimes these mature singles can be quite
hasty.
No, not hasty. Can be quite intentional.
Oh, okay.
About how they engage, and that's the right thing to do. About how they engage people that are potential spouses. So from the word go, it's not your hair is beautiful. That's on the side. Who are you? What are you about? Where are you from? Where do you work? Or how do you earn money? And where do you live? Do you understand? Have you been married before? Do you have kids outside wedlock? Out of wedlock, and so on. So
I really feel like doing something for someone that is a mature single and really wants to cut the chase. Cut to the chase, yeah. With all of this, there's something in family systems engineering we call a user manual. And if you are interested in getting that user manual, maybe you watch this, you're interested in us doing a user manual at Common Sense Global Consult.
Yeah.
I would ask you to send a link, send a request in the comment after this video. Send a request in the comment section and say, I would like that user manual.
Yeah.
And we will get it to you. Now, what the user manual does is that it gives an accurate descriptive information of yourself.
Yeah.
By the questions we ask in that manual, you are able to have very clear description of who you are. And if you take those same questions and ask someone else that comes, so you can actually cut to the chase. And that's why I hammered on the important things, knowing the important things. And that's what the user manual does. It cuts through all of the razzmatazz and goes, what are the important things about me and what are the important things about this person? So that with one go, you can see it all there.
Yeah, that's another dashboard.
Like
where
a
you
dashboard.
have all the information of person A, person B.
And you know what makes me work, you know what makes me think. And that's what the user manual does.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to give that out.
Yeah.
As I'm a nice guy, especially as we're going, we are coming into a month of March, and I need you guys to start matching towards that destiny.
Yeah. And that brings me to the last point, which is inadequate communication.
Kí ló
You
ń
know,
jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀?
sometimes now why this is why I call it inadequate. Some people will say, "Oh, we spent 2 hours together," but what were you talking about?
The weather.
The weather, a movie, just some random stuff that has absolutely little or nothing to do with your
Arsenal,
future together, with your
football.
destiny. Do you understand? But you were talking for 2 hours. And that is inadequate communication.
Yeah.
Because you have not adequately communicated such that you would find out the important things you need to find out about that
And
person.
if that continues, if that happens every time you guys meet, it's
Yeah.
a red flag.
It's a red flag.
Because
If every
it's-
time you bring up something serious, the person just
whiz.
dodges. Red flag.
Pay attention.
Yeah. If when there's something you always wanted to know, you now finally ask, the person says, "No, we'll talk about it later," and just keeps postponing the important conversations. You have to, there's something wrong. You want to know about maybe something that has to do with this person's past. How come you have not yet something, or how come where did this car come from? And they just dodge. Because they don't want to tell you maybe they were in court before and they fought fraternity, something. And in the process, he killed 2 people. One person almost killed him. I'm just giving an example, just a random example, but really think about it. If people are dodging, and not engaging in the conversations they need to be having with you for you to be able to know them well enough to say, yes, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I'm convinced I know enough, and yes, I'm willing to do this.
There's some,
make this commitment.
Yeah. Go. I was going to say that there are some people's own that when they do it, when you just bring the question, they use vex. they just provoke, and they use that as a means of deflection. It's a red flag.
Yeah.
You have, if you are going to, because we've said that relationship is serious business.
Yeah.
So if you are going to have a relationship, then you must learn the art of having serious conversations.
Yeah.
So if the conversations are always surface, and the moment you want to get serious about anything, the person provoke or something, it's a red flag.
Yeah. So we'll stop there for the red flags. But I now want to go to idiot lights and the fact that people don't understand some of the signs they see.
Okay, so
but before that, right?
Okay.
Are we going on a break?
Okay.
Okay, so taking a break now. We'll be back in a minute.
Let's go. Let's go. Higher and higher. You then feel me with holy fire. Everybody sing along. Higher.
All right, welcome back. Are you enjoying this? If you are, let me get some energy from your end. Yes. So send that thumbs up or do the fire emojis or whichever your favorite emoji is. I'd just like to see and know that you're with us and you are getting value. So now we're just going to go through some just examples of idiot lights, okay? This is just so that you realize that you need to pay attention to some of these things and try to deduce, what does this mean when you see people acting a certain way? Okay, so let me give you an example. First one, where something happens, this person gets angry and all of a sudden they pick up maybe a glass on the table and smash it into the wall. Or they're angry, they don't punch a chair.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Then the guy has anger issues. It's not that he's a very passionate guy. Baba has not dealt with his anger issues. He needs to go for anger management training. Yeah, he needs it. It's not that there's this sad excuse that we make when people get into a relationship. I really love him, but that's just the way he is. In his family, they usually have that thing. Let's not give. That's a sad excuse for bad character. You have anger issues, deal with the issues.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with them by going for a training, then come and talk to a trained therapist like myself. I can help you.
Yeah.
Don't excuse bad character. Thank you.
Yeah. And then something you need to know is that a lot of times people put their best foot forward.
Mm.
So by the time you're not yet married, this person is
Mhm.
going to that anger that is expressed as punching the chair or breaking a plate. That's actually their best foot forward. Though.
So that means by the
So,
time they marry you,
by the time
the worst
they get
foot can be backhand and front hand.
exactly. After the wedding, when the other foot starts coming out, it might become punches on your face and stuff like that. So please be careful. Okay, how about this case where once you meet a lady, a guy meets a lady or something, hello, hi, can I have your number? Next thing you're hearing, oh, my rent is due. I need to change my hair. Oh my goodness, something happened. My mechanic.
How that rent is usually due just after 1 week where you ask her out. I don't know how to do that thing.
Okay, so what would that indicate? What feelers should guys be getting when something like that happens?
It's a very red flag, man. That she's a member of the Bill Clinton family. Billings. She practices Billings method.
She wants it to be her source and sustainer, likely, right? Meaning that she'll be expecting you to supply all her needs according to your riches in glory. You know, so well, yeah, we're just
yeah, that's
yeah.
So you should be able to read those signs.
Yes, some people will say, "I have my own money. I'm just using this to check." Yeah,
see,
but
excuse me. Let's be real here. If you want to check, there are many ways to check. But excuse me, if you just want to drive people away, then keep doing that thing because it doesn't make any sense. Because some people may have the money, but there's no law that says that he needs to pay your rent just because
he's trying to get to know you.
He's trying to get to know you. He just meet you. The next thing, mother is in the hospital. I need to pay. There's a hospital bill that you want to pay, and you're saying you're using that to test him. Come on now, give yourself some standards, I beg.
Yeah, and respect yourself.
Yeah,
okay,
respect yourself.
How about the case where you go shopping with the guy? You know that kind. Oh, let's just. I'm free. I need to do my shopping for the weekend. Let's go together. And then every time he forgets his wallet at home.
but Babi, see that one, he forgets his wallet. That's
and it's always right at the time when it is just to be. I forgot. I didn't bring my card with me.
But
and then he can't do transfer.
But he doesn't
have network on his phone.
As a sharp babe transfer, as a sharp babe, they have to ask for OPay. Because as a bro, even if you forget your wallet, OPay, now they pay. So do something.
Oh my goodness, interesting. Okay, and then the last of these that we will take is this person keeps blaming everybody else for whatever has gone wrong in their lives. So they blame their mom for not doing something, blame their father for a decision he made, that
blame Nigerian government.
Yes, blame their siblings, blame their friend, blame teacher, blame everybody for what is not going right with them.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? What indicator?
It tells you that by the time you enter the blaming community.
Meaning you'll be blamed for something.
Yes.
Maybe they'll blame you from the day of the marriage. Everything that goes wrong.
The day that I married you, my life has just been going
everything
down.
that goes wrong from the day of the marriage will now become your fault.
It's your fault. So these are some signs that you need to watch.
Yeah.
You need to watch out for. We've been talking about relationship dashboard.
Yeah.
You need to look for the signs. Don't make excuses. If you are in doubt, talk to a mentor.
Yeah.
Because we've said this several times on this channel that if you're in a relationship, there's nothing like all this secret love. Excuse me. Marriage is a very public. The declaration of marriage is a very public affair. So don't be doing all this secret love where it's only two of you that know you're in a relationship. So after 3 years, you come back, it's only two of you that still know.
Or the other people now know after there's big problem. Yes, when there's a big problem, you now start telling people, can you imagine what happened, what she did, I did. Meanwhile, when the thing was starting, you did not tell anybody. Yeah. So in the multitude of counselors, there's
there
safety.
Is safety. So your relationship has to be able to withstand, you know, it has to be able to withstand public
Scrutiny.
scrutiny.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the part of a way of saving both the both parties in the
Yeah.
relationship.
There has to be some big sister, some older friend, some, you know, a mother, somebody, cousin, uncle, somebody that you know has your best interest at heart that can help you. So that when you're seeing some signs, you're not even sure. Assume you honestly aren't sure. You can discuss, this person does this. What do you think?
What does this
Yeah,
mean?
what does it mean? This
Yeah.
guy always does it. What do you think?
Because
You know, ask questions.
yeah, a friend of mine used to say that when a man is in love, another mumu is born. And so, in case you are falling for somebody that is holding your mumu button, you have to be able to check with other friends, colleagues, or community, or other mentors to know whether you are just being manipulated or you are actually in love.
Yeah, so I think it's been so much fun today on the show, just walking through these red flags and the idiot lights, like you named them, which is really interesting, and just talking about some of these red flags, and then talking about the fact that idiot lights can be easily misunderstood if you're not paying attention or you're not as experienced. So please don't try to do this all alone. You have to have a mentor in your corner. You have to have somebody that is helping you with this relationship. So please don't say it's just the two of us, I'm keeping it private until just before the wedding. Just before the wedding, you'll be feeling too committed.
Yes.
Just before the wedding, you'll be feeling like I've invested so much. How do I walk away? You know, especially if you printed card, you've paid for hall, you've done all sorts. You know, so please, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Okay, so don't go it alone. Thank you for being part of the show today. I hope you had fun. I know you got value, and because of that, you need to share this video with others. So please send the link to your friends, to your loved ones, people you know need this information so they can gain too. And remember, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, you need to do that.
Press pom pom pom.
Yes.
Just press it. I'm eyeing you. Press it. Press it.
Thanks for being with us on the show today. And like we always say, remember, common sense is not so common. Bye.
Let's go. Let's go.